Hey folks, Barry here. I was doing my video on medical kits here not too long ago, and one of them that I mentioned was my Gray Ghost Gear Slim Med Kit, and I talked about just sort of briefly mentioned my uh, Lost in the Desert kit, and the sort of setup that I have for when I go out hiking or sometimes some camping, some just sort of walkabout in the desert. Because, as I said, the desert is beautiful and I love being out there. But that doesn't mean I should go out there unprepared. Uh, for the most part, the biggest threats that I might face out in the desert here are going to be uh, coyotes, snakes, and the sun. So that in mind, I sort of put together this kit here to kind of provide what I think I might need um, in case of going out there when I go out, because I'll go out for all day if I can, whenever I can find the time, and I love it. So I just kind of wanted to talk to you real quick about what I've got here, what I've chosen, why I've chosen it, that sort of stuff. First, I'll mention that generally speaking, this is all in addition to my primary rifle. Like I said, coyotes are a thing out there, and I don't want to mess with them. So I'll almost always have my rifle with me. Sometime, if I don't have it, I'll at least have my pistol, and so this rig is set up to augment that. And also, sometimes I just go out there and wander a couple miles off the trail to go shoot, to go shoot out in the desert. So again, I want to talk about what I've got here, what I've chosen, why I've chosen it, what it does for me. First of all, I'll tell you that this chest rig here, this is the SKD Tactical Pig uh, chest rig. It's set up for. It's got four main pockets on the front, two duplex pockets in the front here. So again, two pistol magazine pockets, if you will. Will have one pistol magazine there. Uh, I really like this rig. I've had it for a couple of years. I've used it a whole bunch. The one thing I did do is I got the H harness to go across here. For me, that's just a little bit more comfortable than crossing the straps over in the back. You can see it secures down here on the bottom. I've got it a little bit loose because I've been wearing it with a jacket not too long ago. This says just grab a hold of that, tighten it up a little bit. The H harness, kind of the same thing. You can adjust it if you've got a little wider shoulders, a little narrow shoulders, whatever you need to do. So for the pockets on the front, like I said, since I will generally have my rifle with me, the first thing I'm going to do is make sure that I've got some sufficient ammunition for that. So I've got I've got a little 20 round magazine here. Actually, no, I don't. So that's a 30. So I've got three 30. I usually have a 20 there, and it looks a little shorter from my angle. Uh, but if I'm shooting bipod, especially, I like the little 20s because they're just easier to use behind the bipod. So, three magazines for that, plus especially going to be have one in the gun. I might put some hunting loads in this if I think I'm going to be out and need to hunt something. Generally, if like I said, my concern is coyotes or anything like that, just this regular old stuff is going to work just fine. You don't need anything fancy for that. Um, so I've got three of those there. Here on the right, I have a portable radio. So this is just a $50 Baofeng Chinese radio. It doesn't need to be fancy. Uh, it's got some good preset channels for some local ham repeaters, some local groups that I know of. I do have a ham license, so I know someone will chime in saying stay off those frequencies, but I do have technician's license, so like the frequencies that I'm on, I'm fine. So again, that's simple. Just throw that right here. If I do need to call for help, I can do that. Um, I sometimes will have the earpiece for it, only for the sake of having it a little more hands free. But for the most part, it doesn't really matter. I can get to it. It's got a nice little strap here that holds it in place, so it's not going to come out. So that's good to have. Do have my Garmin, an old Garmin Fortrex here that I keep. This is the 401. Super old, but it's good. I know some spots out in the desert nearby here that I've gone ahead and pre-programmed them in here, so that if I do get lost, can't find my way, whatever, fire this up and it's going to show me how to get to a couple of certain places. A couple of spots I go to, I know are within 2-3 miles of, for example, a border patrol station. So if I'm in trouble and I need to get somewhere, that's a good place for me to go. That's also helpful for me to figure out, if I am walking around out there and I find something cool, I can go ahead and program in the coordinates wherever I am. So if I want to go back and find it later, I can do that. Small, the duplex, these are pistol magazine pouches, but like I said, I will carry one spare magazine, pistol magazine here. Also got a little multi-tool here. This is an old Leatherman that I've got. Over on this side, I've got a knife here. And then, as I mentioned earlier, another one of the big threats, dangers that face out in the desert here is going to be snakes. They bite, they're poisonous, they're venomous, sorry. My son would be upset if I didn't clarify the difference between venomous and poisonous. So right here, I do have a little snake bite kit. That's one of those things that, geez, I hope I never need it, because that would suck. But again, this is a little thing. You can get this anywhere. You can get this at Walmart, Academy Sports. These are $5. If you're in a place that's got snakes, why don't you have one of these? At least, if you're going to be out wandering like that. So it is a little tough to see it here, but the rig here does have an internal pouch, an internal pocket there. I don't have it right now, but generally right here I'll have some like waterproof maps, some topographical maps of wherever I happen to be going, especially if I'm going to somewhere that I'm not familiar with. That'll be nice to have. And then there's an actual Velcro pocket here that I can put stuff in. A lot of times right in there I'll throw a little Ziploc bag full of beef jerky or something like that. Some little snacks, things like that. I've also got a little pack with some like water purification tablets, things like that. And maybe a little tube of sunscreen, because like I said, one of the big dangers out here is of course the sun and the elements. It's right now it is 10 a.m. here, and the outside temperature is about 90 degrees. So it should be probably 101 this afternoon. You don't want to be out for too long without protection from the sun and hydration. So you'll notice I haven't mentioned hydration. I don't have hydration on here. Generally speaking, I'm going to have bogged water with me. I'll have my backpack or a Camelback that I've got filled up with water. Again, purification tablets, so that if I do run out of water and I'm able to find a source, if I'm up in the mountains, whatever, where there are going to be some natural running water, streams and lakes and things like that, I can clean that up and be good. And then finally, of course, the medical. And I mentioned in my medical kit video, this is the Grey Ghost Gear Slim Med Kit. Again, I really like this one. This is a really good kit. I think it's perfect, especially for a setup like this. It fits really well right here. This is on my off side, so I'm not carrying my rifle on, I carry my rifle on the right side, so it's not in the way if I do need to, get my gun up for whatever. It's one-handed use. I just grab onto this, yank that open. I can use my other hand if I need to. In addition to tourniquet, shears, I've got an additional tourniquet inside here. I've got gauze, I've got quick clot bandages, I've got all kinds of stuff. And again, also just some small things like just small individual adhesive bandages. I think I've got a little pair of tweezers in there because I've talked about stepping on cacti and getting all those little needles and thorns and stuff stuck in your leg. Oh, I need to tie that back up. And this is, and I do have a little chem light here. This is, you know, if I'm out there at night and I get lost, someone's got to find me. This is a good little 10-hour light so that they can do that. I'll also generally have a flashlight on me. Sometimes I do have an IR strobe, but that's, you know, for the most part, I think that's a little much. So again, sort of general desert walkabout setup. I think I've pretty much got everything here that I need, in addition to my gun and my water. Wear a hat, put sunscreen on. I don't want us to burn. I'm pretty white. So that's it for this. Thanks for watching again, and I'll drop a link in some links in the description to tell you where you can get some of this stuff if you should feel so inclined. Okay, bye.